morning, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the morning show right here on the new Main Street TV. Of course, Jennifer here to start off your morning show. Well, we're doing something different this morning. Our good friend Pete will be here, but just a little bit later. So, to start off the show this morning, we have some special guests here in the studio. And they are over to my left, and we are going to talk about a special event coming up tomorrow. And it's such a good event, and we look so forward to it. But first off, let's introduce our guests here. And there they are. Aren't they so cute? And tell everybody who you are.
I'm Laura Baker, the YMCA director.
Okay.
And I'm Florence Curtis, community educator for Holzer Home Care.
All right. And so you two have actually teamed up as part of Hug Your Heart Day. Yes. And so let's talk for a little bit, one of you, about how Hug Your Heart Day got started and how many years have you been doing that?
I've been at the YMCA for 8 years, so I've been doing it for 8 years. It started off with Shadra Jenkins doing the Hug Your Heart, and it was dear to her heart. And when she left, I took it over, and Flo and I teamed up, and it's been a successful event every year since.
And what was the brainchild behind the Hug Your Heart Day? Was Shadra kind of the one that started that, or?
I think she was, yes.
Okay. And let's talk for a minute about what Hug Your Heart Day actually is.
It's for the seniors in our community. They get their health screenings. They get to have a free lunch, free entertainment. Like this year, it will be our entertainment DJ, Rocking Reggie. We'll have character drawing. We're going to have the Silver Sneakers, the Wellston Line Dancers, and we have pictures by Nikki Willis. And then we'll have our MC speaker that's been with me since I've been doing it, Sandy Borden. And I'm sure everybody knows Sandy Borden. Then we have our health screen vendors, which this is where Flo comes in because she knows all about the health screenings.
And the health screenings that we do every year, we do the sugar test, cholesterol, bone density, the BMI. We can do your weight.
Who wants that, Flo?
I know. That's a terrible thing.
That's mean.
We are getting into summer.
To this event.
We're getting into summer. We're trying to get everybody their bikini bodies. So with that, we have information if your sugar would be high. We will also have some physicians there on staff for you to talk to if you have any questions. We'll be doing blood pressures. I know that's another favorite for people. And you can talk to a pharmacist, a physician. You can talk to me if you would like, nurses. We just have a lot of great people from the community who want to get together and put this on for our seniors.
And I think it's such a great event. And just for a minute, I saw Courtney and I were laughing about this, that we needed to participate, but memory screenings, what's involved in that?
With the memory screenings, they just have a questionnaire that they will go over with that to see how sharp you are and to see, do you need to go in and see a physician? Is there something further that needs to be done for you?
Okay. Well, Courtney and I decided we did not want to participate because we want to live in blissful ignorance of A, our weight, and B, our memory screenings.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I leave myself Post-it notes so I can remember what I'm doing daily.
So do I. Yes. It's like a wall full of Post-its. I don't know. It's a weird system, but it works. All right. So Silver Sneakers, explain that a little bit.
It's a cardio workout with your little stretch bands and your balls, and they do a stand-up where they'll march around the chair, and then they sit down and they do the ball work exercises, and then the stretch band exercises.
So nothing too strenuous, and everybody can participate.
I've had young people go in to do the Silver Sneakers and came out really tired.
I'll bet.
So I would say it's a workout.
It's a workout, but...
And Doris Roberts does that. She is the Silver Sneakers instructor.
Very good. So that will be a lot of fun. And where, let's talk about hours and where this event is being held.
It'll be held tomorrow at Parks Edge on Main Street, 601 Main Street, and it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So just to remind the seniors out here in the community, like the commercial says, it's free, 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 free.
We like
Everything
that.
is free.
And there's did I see there was refreshments or lunch
Yes.
or something?
Yes, we serve lunch there. Lunch is
What?
free. Entertainment's free.
Door prizes.
Door prizes.
Tons of door prizes.
Yes, tons of door prizes is free.
Yay! That's so good. So there's no time or no reason not to come, and you can come and participate. And it's just a day full of fun, right, girls?
It is.
Absolutely.
It's like a reunion for some of the seniors. They see their friends they hadn't seen in a while, and mostly this year because we've been in lockdown for so long. So I'm sure they'll all be happy to see each other this year when they come out.
And we will all be practicing
Yep.
social distancing.
Yes, and
masks.
wearing our mask. That's the only thing we say. You know, when you get up from the table, when you sit down at the table to eat, you can take your mask off. But when you get up to move, please wear your mask and keep your social distance.
Well, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And if we haven't all figured out how to do that by now, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you.
That's
We
it.
should all be pretty good at it by now.
Pros.
Right, exactly. Okay, and so again, this is tomorrow at Parks Edge, and plenty of parking, easy access to get in and out. So any of our senior friends that may have a little trouble getting around can certainly get in the door and participate as well.
Yep.
Right? All right. So one other question. So Flo, how did Holzer get involved in this?
Shadra actually got us involved from the very beginning, and we started doing the screenings, and just from there we got more and more involved, and now we partner with the Y, and we are hosting the event at the Parks Edge this year.
Very good. And that's just one more great thing that our friends at Holzer are doing for our community, and we can't thank you all enough for that. So all right, is there anything else, girls? I know that you are very, very busy, and you wanted to stop by and let our viewers know. So is there anything else you would like our viewers to know about?
Just come out and see us tomorrow. No Jesus rode on the third day, so it's time for everybody to get out and come spend the day with us.
Sounds like a fantastic idea to me. And these girls, look how much fun they are. So you can spend the day with some great people and see some friends out that maybe you haven't seen in a while, and have a good time. And that's what it's all about. Plus, maybe learn a little something about yourself as well.
Yep.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you for having us.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks for coming in, girls. We greatly appreciate you, and best of luck at your event tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. And don't forget, Hug Your Heart Day tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Parks Edge Event Center. And if you don't know where that is, well, it's Ponderosa. Was Ponderosa. Where Ponderosa used to be. All right. And again, health screenings, entertainment, lunch, memory screenings, silver sneakers, door prizes. If you have any questions, you can call our good friend Laura here at 286-7008, and that is the number for the YMCA. Very good. All right. Well, our good friend Pete is on deck in the house here. He is chomping at the bit to come in and let us know about your morning news update, so we can get to that. And Pete is always full of information, so we always look forward to having our good buddy here. And don't forget that the morning news update is brought to you, of course, by our good friend Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. And if you are looking to buy or sell or have any real estate questions or need some advice or anything to do with local real estate, Nia will help you out. 740-418-4135. All right, so our good buddy Pete is in the house. We mixed it up on you this morning, Pete.
I know. I have my alarm set off to go at 9 o'clock, and I talk. So we'll see how I adjust on that.
Did you have to like duct tape it so it didn't start?
No. I just talk downstairs.
I gotcha. All right. So what's going on, good buddy?
Okay, we're going to go down through a list of things real quickly. On the COVID-19 front, no new report from the Jackson County Health Department. However, the Vinton County Health Department had a new report, and they had 2 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in the last day. This report was issued late yesterday, but that now takes Vinton County up to 728 confirmed cases. And as we said, a slight increase in the Vinton County caseload over the last a couple of weeks, but really not a whole lot. In addition to those 2 confirmed cases, there was 1 new probable case as well. However, the number of active cases in Vinton County did fall from 12 to 10. That part is good. No new deaths related to COVID-19 in Vinton County, and the hospitalizations, they fell from 5 to 2. So kind of a mixed bag there, both good and bad for Vinton County. In Jackson County, as we said, no new report, but the last report we had, which was on Monday, the health department reported 35 new confirmed cases over a 7-day period for an average of 5 new cases per day. That's up just a teeny bit as well. Today, there is a COVID-19 vaccination clinic taking place at the First Church of the Nazarene. That's at 251 Powell Drive in Jackson. That's where the Jackson County Health Department has had a lot of its vaccination clinics. The times today for that are 10 a.m. to noon this morning, and then again in the afternoon into the evening from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this vaccine is for anybody who is scheduled or is getting their first dose. Anyone is welcome, but also any second doses for the Moderna or Pfizer can also be had at these clinics. It is a walk-in basis. There is no charge. You don't need any referral, no out-of-pocket charge whatsoever. Easy in, easy out most of the time for the Jackson County Health Department. We have news of no other clinics set but for the future in Jackson County, but we know that there will be because there's a lot of folks who got their first shot at the schools either last week or this week. Last week, of course, clinics at Wellston High School and Oak Hill High School, and this past Tuesday at Jackson High School. So a lot of folks there had their first shot. All right, the Jackson Walgreens store, who was going to give Johnson & Johnson vaccines, they shifted gears and they are taking appointments for the Pfizer vaccine. We want to remind you of that. Of course, there is a moratorium that most of the experts feel will be temporary. They're calling it a pause, but the Johnson & Johnson vaccine not available at Walgreens or anywhere else right now due to those 6 deaths which may be related across the country. Some blood.
They didn't die.
One died.
One
I
did
think,
die?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, blood clotting disorder. Blood
Yeah.
clotting disorder involving 6 people in the United States. So anyway, you can get the Pfizer vaccine at Walgreens. You can either go to the Walgreens website or you can call the store at 740-286-4640. In Vinton County, you can also get vaccinations. They are not affected by the Johnson & Johnson situation because they also have either the Pfizer or Moderna or both. So if you want to get an appointment at the Vinton County Health Department, the way you do it is go to the state website, gettheshot.coronavirus.gov. That is the Ohio Department of Health's website to sign up for the coronavirus, and or the coronavirus vaccine, which you can do, I think, about anywhere through that website. All right, on the crime front, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department report that they did what turned out to be a bust, they say, last Friday afternoon, and it was in the Jamestown Market parking lot right here in town during business hours, believe it or not. I guess maybe if something like that is allegedly going on, it might be less noticeable to the cops and others if it's when people are busy moving in and out of the parking lot. But last Friday, a woman from Wellston, Lindsay Appleman, age 31, the Sheriff's Department received information that there may be a drug transaction taking place there. They accosted Lindsay Appleman in that parking lot. They found drugs in the car, a ½ ounce of methamphetamine specifically, and she was incarcerated in an out-of-county jail. She faces charges of trafficking and drugs. Additional charges are being considered by the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office. All right, on the good news front, Jennifer, Fluor-BWXT, that is the big contractor who is doing the cleanup work over at the former Pike County Uranium Enrichment Plant site. They are very good corporate people in the area, the Fluor County area that they consider their home territory. That includes Jackson County as well as Pike County, where they're located, Scioto County and Ross County. And they recently presented 2 grants to support economic/job development initiatives in Jackson County. One was a $50,000 grant to Wellston's Partnership Plaza. Now that is the former Kroger's building in Wellston, and there you see a check presentation, the big check symbolically showing the big donation, a $50,000 grant. Of course, the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership and the president and CEO, Sam Brady, are very much involved in that. They purchased the Kroger building with the idea of putting new tenants in there, or maybe even just one tenant, depending on who wants to go in there. But the idea is to take a building that was available, but vacant, and turn it into opportunity for new jobs and new businesses in Wellston. And so that is currently being marketed, and the Fluor-BWXT donation will help that process. Also here in Jackson, Fluor has provided a $46,000 grant to the Phoenix Quality Manufacturing Plant. The $46,000 grant will help those folks. There you see them in the picture if you're watching on TV or watching on a computer monitor. Once again, county officials involved in that, economic development officials involved in that, and of course the local company, which is part of the Stockmeister family. And you see some of the principals there accepting that check. Already, that plant, which just opened late last year, is producing at least 35,000 masks a day. Now, that is a lot. And obviously, that was a need that was there. So it really served 2 purposes, that plant. They got, of course, economic development help from the state of Ohio, and now this Fluor grant, as well as the local money being put into it. But good for 2 different reasons. Obviously, a need for the surgical masks in this era of the pandemic, and a lot of those masks were coming from out of the country, and this is, of course, local and regional, and of course, it is producing jobs as well, new jobs in that facility that had jobs before, and now a new source of jobs. So, Fluor very much invested in the region. Okay, the city of Wellston and the Wellston city government people are considering water and sewer rate increases that are necessary to catch the city up and also to help pay for infrastructure needs there. The water and sewer lines, they're aging like they are in a lot of other communities around here. Eventually, you have to replace them. Wellston is troubled by water line breaks quite often. And they have done a study through the Rural Community Assistance Partnership that has made recommendations for the level of water and sewer rates necessary. Of course, the city officials are looking at this and trying to determine what course to take. There will be a meeting of the Wellston City Council tonight. It'll be at 7 p.m. Those meetings now, Jennifer, are in person again. They had been limited to just the participants, the frontline participants, and then they showed them on the Wellston City Council's update Facebook page. I'm not sure they're still doing that. Maybe they are, but I know that it is now a live in-person meeting. You know, if you want to go and participate or just watch, I'm sure they're doing their mask wearing and their social distancing in that building. All right, now for some really good news. We don't always do birthdays on here, but we're going to do one today because Natalia Burton, who is a resident of Jenkins Care Community in Wellston, guess what? 101 years old today.
Happy birthday, Natalia.
Right. Remember, you may not remember this. I remember this because of the newspaper. They did a parade by her house last year when she turned 100. And since then,
That's
she's
right.
now in Jenkins Care Community, but in pretty good health, I understand. And let me tell you, I put this after I got information on Facebook last night as well as our website, and there's smoke coming off our Facebook page right now
That's right.
with the comments and the shares and the engagements. So I think a lot of people know that Natalia Burton, it's not only special that she's 101, I think they think she's special because she's certainly getting a lot of attention from her friends and community members in Wellston and outside of Wellston as well. If you would like to wish Natalia a happy birthday, you can send cards to her at Jenkins Memorial or at the Jenkins Care Community. That address is 142 Jenkins Memorial Road in Wellston. And of course, send those cards and messages in her name. And I know they will make sure that she gets them. All right, kind of a neat story also, Jennifer, just next door here, the Jackson Elks Lodge. They had a changing of the guard last Saturday night. Their leader is called the Exalted Ruler. It's a fraternal organization, and the new Exalted Ruler is a lady. Her name is Mary Bachtel. And Mary, there you see, she's right in the middle there of that picture. If you're watching on TV or on the monitor in the red blazer, and she is surrounded by 4 former Exalted Rulers, including her brother, Dan Dobbins, who is standing right there on her right shoulder. But the reason I'm telling you this, now it is true that the Elks Lodge is one of the leading fraternal organizations in the county. They do a lot of great things in the community as well as being, a social place for the members. But there is a great family connection to talk about because Mary, her brother, of course, Dan Dobbins, her older brother, Dan Dobbins, is a 3-time Exalted Ruler. Well, their father, the late Carl Dobbins Jr., was a secretary there at the lodge for many years, between 20 and 30 years. He was Exalted Ruler twice. He was Elk of the Year in the state one time, and I think he's in the Elks National Hall of Fame. His father, Carl Dobbins Sr., was an Exalted Ruler as well. Mary's husband, Rod Bachtel, was Exalted Ruler for 2 years, several years ago. So, I mean, it's in the family there. They are doing their part. So and Mary has been a behind-the-scenes person who has been very instrumental in the recent success of the Elks, getting new members and doing all the things they do. Not only internally, but externally in the community. And so we wanted to congratulate her and salute the Dobbins family for their commitment to that organization. And it's one of the more positive ones in town for sure.
Pretty cool, Pete. And I think it's kind of neat too because Mary is taking over the reins from another female, correct?
She's taking over from Lynn Denny.
Yeah, 2 females in a row. That's kind of neat.
Right, and Lynn Denny was the husband of Keith Denny. Of course, Keith Denny, also known in town as the manager over at the Osco plant.
Yes.
And a lot of these leaders, local leaders for the Elks, they not only volunteer their time here in Jackson, but they're also active in the district and state levels sometimes of the Elks Lodge, and that's a very time-consuming thing. But they know it's a good organization, and their connections, their connections and their knowledge of how Elks works, and the National Foundation has brought a lot of grants locally to Jackson. They're real big on patriotism. They're real big on youth, and they're real big on serving anything in the community. That is good. Right. That is good for the community, not just in Jackson, but in Jackson County and even in Vinton County. Yep. All right. Of course, Laura Baker and Florence Curtis were here for Hug Your Heart Day, so they told you all about that. Don't forget that's tomorrow. Things are starting to heat up, Jennifer. There's lots of things going on that we want to remind you about. Today is the last day to order flowers for the Southern Hills Arts Council flower sale. You can give them a call there and leave a message. You can email, you can go on Facebook, but today is the last day to order flowers for their flower sale. They'll be delivered on May the 1st. So if you've had it on your list to do, but you put it off, this is your last day to do that. Okay. All right. This Saturday and Sunday, you've got to really give credit to Angelia Kaiser Hill. I, in an email to let you all know that we had lined her up to come tomorrow, I called her Angelia Kaiser. Well, that's what she was before she was married. I remember her showing animals at the fair and all like that. But she's Angelia Hill now, and a businesswoman and also a big supporter of the fair. She decided that it might be a good fundraiser to use the fairgrounds for a flea market. And let me tell you, it's worked out.
Good.
All they need is some good weather this weekend. 180 vendors set up for that baby. This Saturday and Sunday at the fairgrounds. You're going to hear more about it tomorrow because she has agreed to come on Main Street TV tomorrow. She's also going to talk with Matt McKee. She'll be sitting right where I am and tell you all about it. But you
Love
have all
it.
these opportunities to buy things. The gate charge is only $1. They'll have food there. The Jackson 4-H Advisory Council will have their food booth there, homemade food, and it's going to go both Saturday and Sunday, and she'll tell us all about it tomorrow.
That sounds like a blast.
Right, and after you get your buying fix at the flea market, you can go over and catch some trout at the Hammertown
Trout
Lake. Of
Festival,
course,
that's
Butch
right.
Aldridge was here yesterday. We appreciate him coming. That will be all day on Saturday. We'll remind you about that tomorrow as well. And don't forget about the folks in Oak Hill, the Festival of Flags people, that are doing a veal fry on Saturday.
Ooh.
That's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. or until the veals run out.
I'll bet they run out before then. What do you want to
Well,
bet?
the veal's very, very
Yeah.
popular. And they're going to do that from the food booth there on the festival grounds. That's on the grounds of the city building, also known as Etna Park, right just to the north of the city building there. And that's where they will be operating. That is a fundraiser to support the Festival of Flags. They do several events throughout the year, and of course they weren't able to do some of those this year. So good luck to them. They are working very hard getting ready for this year's Festival of Flags. It should be a good one. We're going to be hearing a lot more about that, including their featured entertainment, which is a fairly big name.
Ooh.
Presley and Taylor. I'll just tell you that right now.
Nice.
They've got it out. Presley and Taylor is an up-and-coming group, and they just hit number one on one of the charts. And closer to the date, we hope to maybe have them on radio or TV too. They're
Cool.
very promotional-oriented, and they're glad to be in Oak Hill, and they would like to
Good.
draw a regional audience. And if they do, that will be good for the Festival of Flags because they'll come and buy the veals and the hot dogs, and the local vendors will all benefit by that. Of course, the Festival of Flags Memorial Day weekend, they're going to have their Queens contest, I understand, early in May. So we'll let you know about
Okay.
that when we get all the details. All right, in the sports world, we want to tip our hat to freshman Cheyenne Landis of the Wellston High School track team. And there is Cheyenne. You can see that she's ahead of the other girls. She not only won the 3,200 meter run in an event at Athens High School on Wednesday evening, but she established a new school record. This is a freshman now.
Holy moly.
She beat a school record that went back to the year 2000 that was held by a young lady named Lindsay Walburn, who already is in the Wellston High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And this girl, once again, just a freshman, she ran that in a time of 12 minutes and 50 seconds and 12 minutes, 50 seconds and 96 hundredths, just under 12:51. And Lindsay Walburn, with her record, had run it in 13 minutes and 5 seconds. So she busted that record by
Whoa.
about 15 seconds. And that's
Holy
a lot. And she's got a long career ahead of her.
Yeah.
So we want to
good.
congratulate Cheyenne Landis, just a freshman. And there is another highlight for the first year where the Wellston High School track team actually has their own track.
That's right.
So I think that the new track has something to do with it. They can practice at a better place. They're proud of their facility, and they just want to do the best they can team-wise and individual-wise, and they're off to a really, really good start.
I'd say so.
We are sorry that we weren't at Jackson High School last night to bring you the ball game between the Jackson Ironman baseball team and the Washington Courthouse Blue Lines, but it rained a little bit yesterday. But you know what, Jennifer? It didn't rain as much in Washington Courthouse, and so they switched sites. They
Oh.
played the game anyway at Washington Courthouse. Of course, we don't go on the road, but I will report to you that the Jackson Ironmen were boss again, 13-3 over Washington Courthouse. Another Mercy Run Rule victory. They're 10-0 now, undefeated, and in first place in the Frontier Athletic Conference. So we
Good
got
for
rained out
them.
on Monday. We had a switching of sites on Wednesday. We're sorry because we really like doing those games. They will be back in action at Howler Field in Jackson, we hope, next Monday against Miami Trace. And Miami Trace has lost only one game all year. You know who they lost to? They lost to Jackson earlier in the season by a score of 13-1.
Oh.
So don't know what Josh McGraw has done to get those baseball players playing so well, but they are having a simply fabulous season to date. So that's where we stand now. The girls were here to hug your heart. I'm going to go down and hug my word processor.
That sounds good. Give it a little pat, Pete.
All right, very good. Nice interview with the Hug Your Heart people. I heard
They're
you in
great
action
girls.
there.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right, and Pete's Morning News Update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs or questions, give Nia a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll be out working for you. All right, let's get to your zip printing weather forecast. And what does that mean? Well, that means, you know, what's coming up? Graduations, whether it be your kindergarten graduation, preschool, on up to your high school and your college graduations. And what do we want to do? Well, we want to give those seniors a little bit of the credit that they deserve. And you can do that by getting, of course, some graduation announcements. You can visit that at zipprinting.carlsoncraft.com, or you can also get custom signs. They have yard signs, and let's get some prices out here. Custom 24 by 18 two-sided yard signs are $15 each. A lot of folks chose to do that last year, especially with the limited seating and things at graduations. So this just gives those seniors a little bit of extra credibility, if you will, or and then let's see, the 2x3 banners, $25 each. Same two designs to choose from. Senior shirts starting at $15 each. They have napkins with school logos, different banner sizes, thank you cards. What was the other thing we were talking about the other day? I guess the graduation announcements. I thought there was one other thing we were talking about.
On the Zip Printing Carlson Craft website, there
Yeah.
are a lot. There's
A lot of different
really wide
things.
variety.
Okay, cool. So visit that or yourtotalmedia.shop, and you can see some of the great things that you can do for your seniors to commemorate their special days. All right, and so let's get to your weather forecast, which is not, well, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. For today, partly cloudy, highs around 56 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy, lows around 36. So if you do have any flowers that you've planted or whatever, may want to just give them a little cover up overnight. For tomorrow on Friday, partly cloudy with some areas of frost, which again, need to cover up those little plants overnight tonight. Highs around 59 degrees, and that is on Friday. Looking on to your weekend, it doesn't look on Saturday like much rain in the forecast, and highs of 60 degrees. Sunday, a small chance of rain and highs of 62. So there you go. That's your zip printing weather forecast, and we hope that you can get out and about and enjoy some decent weather. All right, our good friend Courtney is back in the house today.
I'm back.
You just can't get rid of us.
Can't keep me away.
That's exactly right. And so, Courtney, what the heck is going on?
Not a lot. Look what I have. My Marquet Shack flower order form. I sat down and filled it out last night.
That's exactly right. And let's talk
Yep.
about that for a minute, because today is the last
The
day.
last day to get them in. And if you didn't get an order form, I'm sure you could call the box office and they
Right.
can try to hook you up, or you could stop by there and order some. But
So let's talk about the Marquet flower sale for a minute. And because you have that order form in front of you,
yes.
what is it? A fundraiser for?
It's a fundraiser for the Southern Hills Arts Council.
Yes.
We get these beautiful flowers. Marvin's Gardens is, oh my gosh, they're like so beautiful.
Ridiculously
And they put
gorgeous.
together such beautiful baskets for us. And so a portion of the proceeds goes back to Southern Hills Arts Council just to help fund programming. And of course, you know, there hasn't been a lot happening down at the Marquet because of COVID and certain things going on right now. So it's a great way to support, and they're delivering them. Like, there's usually a minimum order to deliver. But
Right.
this year and last year, because of COVID, they're not asking you to come out and pick them up. They're delivering them all as long as you're within Jackson. I don't think they'll bring them to you in Florida or anything like that, but
They might not mind to.
they might not mind to. That's true. I'll sign up for that gig. But so they just bring them, drop them off at your house. You got your flowers, and you can plant them.
Okay, so here's the deal. You're going to buy flowers anyway, right?
Right.
Why not order them and have them delivered to your house?
Yes. They have hanging baskets. They have a couple different sizes. They have ferns. They have 5.5-inch pots. They have flats. Like, it's all right here.
All right, so go over some of the stuff. Are there veggie plants in there and stuff too, or is it just flowers?
They're mostly just flowers, but we have done herb pots the last couple years that
Good
are pretty
idea.
pretty popular. You get 5 variety of herbs. So you get sweet basil, sage, thyme, oregano, rosemary, parsley, and dill.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. But they also have like the 5.5-inch pots. They've got your lantana. They've got geraniums. I know everybody loves to plant geraniums in their hanging baskets or in their
Yep.
pots to sit by the pool, things like that. They've got the sweet potato vine. They have a mosquito plant that smells like citronella.
They are so. I get those and set them on my front porch because I liked it. Number one, I think they smell great.
Yeah, and they have really pretty pink flowers and purple flowers that if you treat
Yes.
them right, that will come.
They're really cool and they're
Yeah.
pretty easy to grow as well.
Yeah, and I saved my dried one this year, and I'm gonna try to put them into my fire, like when we have fire pits and stuff.
Ooh.
Because I wonder if they'll like smell. I don't know.
maybe
we'll
it'll
try
get
it.
rid of the bugs. Yeah.
See what happens. But you can get a full flat, a half flat. They even have 4.5-inch pots of like wave petunias that you can buy, and begonias. That's what I'm allowed to buy because I don't kill
Because
them.
you can't kill them.
No. They look all sad and weepy, and then you give them a little drink, and they perk back up.
They're like, yay!
Yep. So that's what Megan Davis allows me to buy out at Marvin's Gardens.
And the Grateful Dead sang a song about it. So
Yeah, so there you go. So great. But I mean, some of these collars, they have one called Sweet Times Ahead, this hanging basket. And it's a super tunia and white million bells.
yes,
But the super tunia is white and pink, and it has pink little hearts.
no,
It is so adorable and so pretty. Yeah. So
And again, you can get this order form. Is it online or do
yes,
you?
it is online too. I saw they posted it out. I think either look at the Marquet Facebook page or the Southern Hills Arts Council page. It's
Okay.
out there. So take a look at that, and you can look at the actual order form and click on it and pull it up, and then you could call in your order and they can write it down, and you could pay with a credit card. And
Okay, and where do you take this order form to?
you can drop it off at the Marquet.
Okay,
12 to 5 today.
very good. So
But if
today
you
is
know
your
any-
last day.
Yeah, if you know anybody on the Southern Hills Arts Council too, they could probably take it for you and turn it in. So
Very, very good.
then they deliver on. Let me see. Where does it say? I think it's May 1st. Yeah, Saturday, May 1st, they will deliver. So I believe that's the weekend before Mother's Day. So you could also just have all your Mother's Day flowers.
Exactly. Hello.
Everything's ready to go. You don't even have to go out and buy Mom anything, because I know my mothers love flowers. And I won't say whether or not they're getting any.
You may or may not be getting any flowers.
Right.
Well, very good. That's awesome. And all right, and let's move on to the flea market. We talked about that the other day, and Pete just mentioned it.
Yeah.
And you are actually setting up a booth at the
I
flea
am.
market. So
I
what
am.
will you be selling, Courtney?
Well, at one point in time, I used to sell some clothing from a clothing company, so I need to get some of that out of my house, so that will be there.
I see.
But we've got like a lot of glassware that we don't use anymore. Like you just collect different types of like
Sure.
passed down from generations to generations or whatever. But so we'll have a bunch of that, and we really kind of are just having like our yard sale there.
Yeah. So a hodgepodge of things.
Yeah.
But good stuff.
Yeah.
And have you heard about who? Well, I know we'll hear about this tomorrow.
Right.
But is there anything interesting that you've heard that's going to be there that we can give a little sneak peek?
Well, I've heard there's going to be like food vendors there too, which is kind of exciting. And then I think I saw there's like some people are going to be there with antiques. People are going to be there. There's some boutiques that have signed up to be there. There's I think a lady's going to be there selling like little homemade teddy bears or something like that, maybe.
Nice.
So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. And then of course, like I said yesterday, the dog pound's going to be there doing microchipping. So Raven might have to go with us to get her chip for a minute, but so I think it'll
That's
be kind of
awesome.
nice. Like, I'm
just-
excited about it.
You know, it is, and it's not. It's the weather's going to be like what 60.
Yes. It'd be a nice day
62,
to walk
like-
around.
Yeah, put on your little sweatshirt and just walk around. It'll be fun. Be a good day to just chill out.
Yep, I've already warned my husband because I tried to get him to rent like a big tent. We got 3 spots because my dad's also going to be setting up, and he's got like a bunch of books or something, I think, that he might be putting in it.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, so I tried to get them to get this big, huge tent for us to use, and Mike's like, no, it'll be fine. We've got our little pop-up tents. We'll just use that. So last night I warned him. I said, if it rains hard, you're
It's
just going to
your
get a
rear end.
look. And you're going to know I meant I told you so.
That's exactly right.
I told you we should have got that tent. So we'll see, though. But I was
That's cool.
glad to see the weather report. It looks nice. It looks like it'll be okay.
Yeah, it does. And little chance of rain on Sunday, but it won't rain on your parade.
It's
No
going
way.
to blow right over.
That's right. Exactly. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so in the news, James told us a big news story yesterday, and I forgot to bring it with me. So I'll let James report it.
Are you talking about Bernie Madoff?
I am.
Well, I don't have the information in front of me, but
Nothing like a.
famous scammer Bernie Madoff died in prison at age 82 yesterday.
He did. He passed away yesterday. And he's one of the most infamous, I think, names in the news as of recent history. And a lot of people don't exactly know what Bernie Madoff did, but they know he stole a lot of money from people.
Right. How
so-
long ago was that?
Yeah. When was that? Oh, it was.
It's early 90s.
I'm
I
guessing
mean, I don't know how long it went on for.
it was. He got caught. I'm guessing like 2004 or 5. See if I'm right. I'm just doing my thinking back. I think it's been way longer than what you think.
Right. Yeah, I was wondering like how long he's actually been in jail.
Yeah. But the whole, I will say that he did,
He was sentenced in 2009.
yeah, I think he got caught back in like 4 or 5, probably.
His original sentence was 150 years.
Wow.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it.
He didn't make it that long, did he?
No.
But the word
$20 billion Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi
Oh my
scheme,
gosh.
I think a lot of folks didn't know what a Ponzi scheme was until Bernie Madoff came along, and he certainly made the phrase everyday vernacular for a lot of folks. So,
Right.
unfortunately, there's a lot of them that go on out there, and you just didn't hear about it. But he if you're going to do it, Bernie, do it upright, and he did. So,
Yeah, so he founded his investment firm in the 60s, but the Ponzi scheme didn't really start until 87, and it really kicked in the early 90s.
yeah. And then, it's just one of those where you're going along pretty good, and then when it comes crashing down, it all comes crashing down in about 13 seconds flat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot to keep juggling.
It's exactly the way to put it, is it's juggling. So you have all of these balls up in the air, and eventually one drops, and then they all fall down.
So I was telling you yesterday when they did the Seinfeld reunion on Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Mhm.
George was mad because he'd lost all his money.
To Bernie
Bernie
Madoff.
Madoff. And what George's great idea was, he wanted to invent a smartphone app that showed you where the nearest public restroom was and rank them by cleanliness.
I think that's
It's
an
actually a
excellent idea.
fantastic idea.
And so that was George's idea, and he invested all of his money with Madoff, and he lost it all.
I think that's a great idea. And along with that, it needs to be the rest areas. Like, I don't know like when you're traveling, like I
Yes.
feel like there should be like something where you can look up on your route where the rest areas are.
And is this one seedy or is this? And a lot of them are closed for repair a lot of times.
Yes.
So I know when we went down to the lake, past a couple of them that were like, I mean, I was like, this thing's never going to be open. There's like barrels and all kind of stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think, oh, there's a rest area coming
You
up,
see
and
that
then you're
blue
like,
sign.
no.
Yeah, you see that blue sign. You're like, yes.
But I have to go. You know, there is nothing worse than being like, you're driving down the highway and you don't know where you're at and you're some weird state and you're like, oh man, there was an exit to a restroom. I should have stopped there. I'll stop at the next one.
And then you drive and you drive.
And 25 minutes later, you're still driving and there's no exit.
do you have like special, I have certain gas stations I only want to stop at to go to the bathroom.
If you find a good one, yes.
I always want to stop at a Love's Travel Center. I just feel like their restrooms are always clean.
They're accessible.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, so if we pass a Love's, I'm like, oh, there'll be another one here shortly. And then it's like, you take a gamble with that crazy hole in the wall gas station. And
That's right.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I was just introduced, and I don't know where this had been all my life, to the Waze travel app.
yeah.
I was just introduced a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it is life-changing.
Changes your life, doesn't it?
Okay, so I was trying to find the name of the app that George had on the show,
Yes.
and I found an article from 2015, and it says the headline is "Bathroom Finding App Gains Popularity, but George Costanza did it first."
Oh.
And the name of the app is AirPnP.
Yes!
That's perfect. So there's an actual app for that?
Yeah, I mean, this article is 6 years old, so I don't know if it still exists, but it did.
There was an app for
I
that.
should have known there was already an app for that. There's an app for everything.
It's like in the movie Knocked Up where they come up with a... Have you ever seen that movie?
On Seinfeld, George's app was called iToilet.
iToilet. I like it. I like Airbnb better.
Airbnb is better.
Yeah.
No, the movie Knocked Up, they go through this entire movie and their ideas. They're going to do this website that shows all of the naked parts in movies.
Oh, yeah.
And someone walks in, they're like, oh, that just like blah, blah, blah.
They're like, what?
And they're
It
like,
already
what? They're like,
exists?
yeah, that website already exists. They're like, we have been working on this forever. Oh, man. But no, Waze is like the best app ever. So we were going down to the lake and my parents had called and said, hey, there's a bad accident. We've been sitting in traffic for an hour on the freeway. Like, don't come this way
Don't
or
do
whatever.
it.
Well, you're on the highway. It's like, what do I do? So I call my aunt. She's like, oh, just download, like, just look at Waze. It'll detour you around. I'm like, the what? She's like, Waze? You don't have Waze? I'm like, no. And it did. It took us, well, of course, I mean, it took us right past a brewery, so we had to stop
Of course. It's like it knew you.
and check it out, right? And then it took us down a side road that was parallel to the highway, so we just went that away and then hopped back on the highway after. I was like, it was kind of neat because it took us like through a backcountry road. And I'm like,
Right.
someplace you'd never ever be otherwise. So kind of like what you were talking about with your Jeep.
Yeah, when I go visit my cousin, we have to go, she lives in Georgia, and we have to go through Atlanta, and there's always Atlanta traffic.
Oh yeah.
Like always. So we always just do off highway because it does take a little bit longer, but I would rather keep driving than sit in
Right.
traffic.
And you get to
So,
see interesting stuff along the way.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
why not? You find little fun shops and you find
Breweries.
breweries along the way. So, yeah. But And I will say too, Waze like keeps you entertained because it'll be like,
It's got that little noise that little like tells you when an object's up in the road.
yeah, it'll be like there's an object in
It's
the road
almost
ahead.
like if you're a passenger, you can kind of play a
It's-
game
it's
because you're
like
like,
playing a
yes,
game.
there is, or nope, there's not.
And it'll say, is it still there? And you
You're
have to
like,
hit yes or
yeah.
no. Yeah, it's like,
it's like you're all working together.
it is.
Yeah.
And then you pass Wazers and it's like,
I see you, little blob.
you know, your fellow Wazer, awesome. So anyway, and we digress very, very far.
So I saw this crazy news article.
Okay.
What would you do if you checked your bank account today and you had an extra $1.2 million in there? Because that happened to a lady, and it was a accident by Schwab. She called to get $82.56 transferred to her account.
Like $82
and 56 cents. Yep. And they put in $1.2 million.
How do we get from $86 to $1.2 million?
A really fat finger,
They
I guess.
They just rounded up.
Yeah.
Said when the company realized the mistake and attempted to take the money back, it was gone. And Spadoni, the lady's name, she wasn't answering her phone, the bank said. So she lives in Harvey, Louisiana, but she was arrested.
I'll say she lived in.
She lived.
She now lives in the Cayman Islands.
Right?
Right.
But she's 33, but she lost her job as a 911 dispatcher. And the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office has arrested her. She is in jail, but she did use some of the money, most of which has been recovered. But she did buy a house and a 2021 Hyundai Genesis sport utility vehicle.
I mean, let's just, come on. Do you think you're not going to, like, they're not going to figure that out?
Yeah. But apparently this happens. Like, it says that Schwab's error is among the technical errors such as a misplaced decimal point and a so-called fat finger mistake that financial firms dread. It said this one is trifle compared to the goof by Citigroup last summer. The bank meant to make an interest payment to Revlon Inc. lenders and instead wired them the principal, and it was $900 million. And then another bank inadvertently transferred 28 billion euros, which is 33.4 billion US dollars, to one of its outside accounts in 2018. But, like, really, you have to wonder, like, why is she arrested? They put it in her account.
That's on them.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure it says in the
on
fine
them.
print, but like
I
that's their
mean,
fault.
right?
Like, they better eat that
They
loss
better
as far
eat
as
it.
I'm concerned.
Right?
Like, I don't feel sorry for that big bank.
I don't either. I mean, like, come on.
okay, so could you not take, okay, so this is how I'm thinking about legitimately making lemonade out of lemons. Could you not take the money out, invest it in something, get some interest off of it real quick, and then give them the money back, but you still made some
Still
money
made
off
some
of it?
money. I don't know. I feel like they need to at least be like, okay, you can have the house and the car. We're not going to file charges.
You
You're
got
good.
us.
Just give us, we got you. Oops, our bad.
No, I don't think that's exactly how that works. Well, if that's the case, then you just go out and buy a $1.2 million house then.
There you go. Whatever.
How long do you think it would take you to spend $1.2 million?
Well, I'd say in that case, you better spend it fast.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
quick. I mean, I guess if it would just depends. Is it just like throwaway money, or is it like,
If-
okay, here's
so,
1.2
let's
million
say
for you to
you're-
live your life
It's like
on?
the-
No, let's say this is like a Brewster's Millions situation.
I can
Okay.
do it.
Where like you have to spend all that money in a week or something like
How
that.
do
I
you
could
even
do
know
it.
that movie?
I mean, I'm not that young.
I know that movie was way after your time or before your time.
All I can say is if somebody wants to give me $1.2 million, I will accept the challenge.
We'll
I could do it easy.
So in that movie, he buys the Chicago Cubs, right?
He buys
And then he-
something, yeah, like a sports.
But like, you are not buying a sports team for
No, for
$1.2 million
$1.2
now.
you could
but-
buy part of a player
You
for
could-
that.
Yeah, no.
in
you,
that movie, didn't he also couldn't make money? Was that right or no? Like
don't
he kept
remember.
didn't he somehow the money like just kept coming back to him or something?
no, I think it was he had to spend X number of amount of money in such a period of time, and if he did that, then he got even more money that was just his. But if he couldn't spend the money in X period of time, he lost everything.
But was it, and he couldn't tell anyone why or something?
maybe-
or was that a
yeah.
different movie?
I don't remember. But you might be right.
I could totally spend $1.2 million.
So if you were given $1.2 million just to, like, I guess it's because, there's the, okay, well, I have to be responsible and whatever. If you don't have to be responsible for it,
Somebody
what would
said,
you buy?
"Here's $1.2 million. You are not allowed to donate it to any cause.
Right, like you can't give
You're
it to
not
your
allowed
parents.
to invest
you can't,
it. You
right.
have to just spend it.
You can't pay for your kids' college with it.
You
Like,
have to spend it on.
like something just out there.
I would buy a vacation home. I would probably buy a new Jeep. I would probably have a lot more corgis.
How many corgis can you buy for $1.2 million?
Well, if they're the queens, probably one.
How many little corgi-sized crowns can you buy?
Little tiaras.
I feel like I could just build a crazy house with it too. Like just all like
And the
what do you
corgis
want?
could have their own
corgis
house.
could have their own suite,
Yeah.
their own. Like I feel like I could totally do that.
Yeah, I mean, a vacation home would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Somewhere fun.
But then that money would be gone and you'd be stuck with all that property tax.
It wouldn't be gone because real estate appreciates.
Yeah, but that's not money in the bank to pay your...
But you have to buy something.
So James, what would you buy?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you...
You're trying to think of
bought-
something that's not going to
If you
also
bought
cost
a
you
house,
money.
it would end up costing you money too.
Well, you don't buy a $1.2 million house.
But
But
if
the
the house
scenario
is
is
already
you have-
paid for,
If you have to spend that much money all at once.
right? But if you already buy the house, so maybe you don't go crazy because then you do have high taxes. But at least it's enough that you're already used to paying the taxes or your mortgage payment or whatever. I could still do it.
I don't know.
I mean, if you go out and buy a yacht or something, you're just
That'd be
dead
good.
in the water, pun intended, because then they just depreciate. So at least a house appreciates.
Buy the house, enjoy it for a year, and then sell it. Get your $1.2 million back.
It might work.
I would hire. It'd be fun to have a house, and then I would love to have like someone to come out and like help me with like a garden and like flowers that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And like I would like to mess with it, but I don't know what I'm doing, so
I have always told my son to make enough money to hire somebody to do the outdoor labor
yes.
to make your house look pretty because I'm terrible at it.
And I say we buy a membership. So that way, when we have the vacation house, the NetJets pilot could get in their little jet and fly down to the James A. Rhodes Memorial International Airport
Pick us up and take us.
and pick us up, and then we can fly wherever we want.
I didn't
think
even
it's
know
a
that was a
fantastic
thing.
idea. What?
NetJet. I never heard of that.
NetJets? Yeah, so it's like
Like a
timeshare
car
for
s-
planes.
So like a car service, but
Yeah.
jet.
So instead of buying your own private jet, you buy ours, like on a jet, and it's like timeshare for a plane. So, and we have, I mean, I live by the airport, so I know this. Plus, they come in and eat all the time. So we have NetJets planes that fly in here all the time, and then like the pilots will come up to the restaurant, eat while whoever's doing whatever, and then they.
Well,
Like people don't realize our airport here, our James A. Rhodes Airport, has an extra long runway, so we can actually land like small Delta Airlines planes on our runway if we wanted to. So I have been pushing for the Delta Hub here in Jackson. Just kidding. It's not going to happen, but
You never know.
I mean, why not?
Good.
If you had $1.1 million,
1.2
1.2 million?
you could make some steps in that direction.
Probably could. I think that's a good idea.
There
So,
we go.
well, we're out of time. I don't know.
Just
We've
spent all our money.
spent
We're
all
out
our
of
money
town.
already. I'll tell you what. You buy the house. You pay the taxes with your money.
Hey,
and-
why do I have to pay the taxes?
well, because we're going to share. You pay the taxes, and I will buy the NetJets membership, and then we can all just share.
Sounds like that will work out great.
And James gets the
I get
really
to pay
big
the
shaft of the
taxes.
deal, but we're not going to talk about that.
He has to make sure the taxes are paid each year.
Hey, listen, you don't have to spend a big chunk up front, James.
But the whole point of this is that you have to spend all the money at once.
So he has to just go write the
Well, you can,
auditor a $1.2 million check.
you can buy food
Like,
for the
just say-
vacation
He has
house.
to pay ahead
Oh,
on our
I'll bring
taxes.
snacks.
You bring snacks on the plane and drinks on the plane, and
Well,
we'll.
if we're buying the food at the airport, I could probably spend 1.2 million pretty fast.
Right? Or we could just go on a vacation to Disney World, and that wouldn't be
Yeah,
hard to spend
that
either.
would get like 1 weekend pass for the three of us.
There's 3 of you. The tickets
be
will be
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million to get in. And your
Wonder-
cheeseburger?
Wonder what it would cost to rent out Disney World for the day. You think you could?
I don't know.
They do have like fast passes that rich people buy. We could do that. Let you cut the lines and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you
Ooh,
could,
yeah, and you
but
get that little Disney employee that walks around with you. They've got
Yeah.
their little plaid vest on, and you're like, anytime you see that
And people,
person walking around,
Yeah,
you're like,
people-
ooh, those people must be famous.
There's somebody.
you get to cut the line, and then all those people boo you as you get on the right ahead of them
All right.
because you spent $10,000.
That's right.
Whatever.
On the fast pass. Oh my God. All right. Well, let's get out of here for the day. Don't forget, our friends from the flea market will be here tomorrow. That's up at the fairgrounds this weekend to talk about some great things there. Also, Hug Your Heart Day tomorrow here in Jackson. So that's a good one. And if you are looking for some flowers, let's go ahead and get that Marquet flower order form filled out. And today is your last day to do it. There it is. Courtney has it, and you can download it online. So do it. You're going to order or buy flowers anyway, so why not have them delivered straight to your home?
The next best thing would be if they planted them for you.
I was going to say, can you buy bags of dirt and they deliver that too? All right. Well, let's get out of here for the day. Want to thank our friends at Callahan Hardware, also Chip and Kathy Smalley at the shop. Of course, our friends, the Holzappel family, the store at Broadway and Penn and Wellston, and the filling station here in Jackson, and Mark Carmen at Carmen's Used Cars. All of our friends that make this show possible. So thank you for that. All right, have to get out of here for the day. We'll be right back here on Friday, and we hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.